Hey there, folks. It's Jimmy Stewart here, hoping this is finding you all doing well. In today's video, people have been asking me, hey, Jimmy, since you got that new IYV, the ILS 300, Mr. Green Jeans, as you call it, how does that compare to the other budget LPs that you currently own? So I figured I would try to answer that question for you a little bit, not really with a shootout, but more of a comparison type of video to help you guys out. Now, if you've been watching the channel, you'll know that the LP Junior with a single P90 is kind of one of my favorite guitars. Now, I have a 54 that you all might have seen, an actual Gibson, and I also have a Firefly version of that, the single cut, single P90. I also have some of their double cuts with a single P90 and a dual P90, kind of the Les Paul special, or the special that they came out with. I have some of those as well. But today we're going to focus on the actual like standard LP like you see here. Now, it's one of my least favorite guitars, to be honest with you. I'm more of a single coil offset guy. So I only have 5 of these to show you. I know. My least favorite, and I have 5. But that's because obviously everybody needs a Les Paul. And a standard type of LP, you know, your dual configuration, either dual humbuckers or dual P90s like the Deluxe Plus here from Monoprice. I also have the Deluxe Plus with the humbuckers over there on the black from Monoprice. I have the IYV ILS, as you guys can see, I recently reviewed here on the channel, and also a pair of the Firefly versions. These are the older versions of the LP. When they first came out, their first batches, and I'm not talking about the 2017 guitars, they were bolt-ons. I'm talking about the first batches of LPs that they came out with, this being the very first in late 2019, and then right after in January of 20, I picked up the orange one there. And that's when they first started with the differences between a classic and an elite, when they went to the classic elite, and you can see the difference in the headstock. But we'll go through all, and that's what we're going to do today, folks. So let's play them, get some tone checks, and talk about differences and, of course, similarities. Let's get to it. Okay, first up on the block. Again, this is the first one that I picked up. This is the Firefly LP. This is in the olive green flame maple top. They have come out with this since then, but they changed it a little bit and they call it the Trappist green. And it did change the color a little bit. This is the original olive green. Again, this was on the very first drop in late 2019. And as always, we're going to check these out with the Monoprice 15 here, and the Celestion cabinet that I have sitting over there, just to check them out and give you a little tone check on how these are. And what I will do, including on this, is I will show you some neck measurements at the nut at the 12th fret. I will give you some weights, and I'll also give you some thicknesses of these necks. I know a lot of people like that. Now, when you're measuring thickness, especially with a caliper, you have strings on here, obviously. So kind of hard to get down to those strings and actually do a measurement. So think that I have this set up, and I do on all of these, with just a couple of millimeters, maybe 3 or 4 at the most on that first fret. So take that in consideration as I'm giving you the actual neck thickness. These, in the newer versions, from what I understand, have gotten wider, and they also have a different, as far as I know, people have been telling me, a different radius. They're getting a flatter radius. They're like 16s and some even in the 20s, flatter radius. These first versions were 12s, so it's got more of a rounded figurine to it, radius to it. So let's go to a clean channel patch first. And again, these are dual humbuckers here. Separate volume and tone controls. This particular guitar has the clear knobs on it with cream. There is binding up and down both sides of the neck. These are, all of them, are solid mahogany guitars with maple caps. This has got a flamed maple cap. I don't know if this is an actual cap or a veneer, and I actually believe that the back of this is also capped. And the reason I'm saying that is because it appears to be a one-piece body, and that could be because it has a maple cap on the back. Not positive. Again, this was one of the very first one that I picked up as far as budget LPs go. It's a pretty cool guitar, folks. Again, up here I will give you the weights, I will give you the measurements. Okay, let's move on to the gold top, the Deluxe Plus SB from the folks at Monoprice. Now you will see the differences in this particular guitar compared to, for instance, the Firefly. As you'll notice that the tone and volume controls are more spread out than they are on the Firefly. They're kind of condensed in here. This is also a non-pickguard version. There's no pickguard on here, and you can also see that the horn on this model is a little bit more pointed than it is on this. But again, it's an all mahogany guitar. This does have a maple cap on it. They're all set neck Les Pauls, of course. They're all mahoganies. They all have rosewood fretboards with the exception of the IYV, which has a Jatoba fretboard. They all have bone nuts, but you'll notice the difference in the headstock on this. This has got sort of the A-frame type of headstock. I like it. I call it the Gumby headstock. And it gives you a little bit better direct string angle to your tuning pegs. Supposedly holds tune a little bit better. Again, I will give you weights on this. I will give you measurements at the 1st and at the 12th, at the nut. And again, we'll try to give you some kind of thickness of the board. This is a 14, actually a 13 point, whatever 350 millimeter comes out to. It's just under 14. Whereas this is a 12 radius. Again, remember that the newer ones, the newer Fireflies, from what I hear, I don't have one of the newer ones, but from what I hear, the radius has become flatter. They're 16s, some have even said 20. But I can't verify that. This has got P90s in it. This is the SB Deluxe Plus. I'm in the middle position. You can hear a bit more gruffness in this. The Deluxe Plus SB from Monoprice. Again, biggest differences, spread on the volume and tone controls, obviously P90s, and the headstock. Let's move on to the next Firefly, the Orange Classic. Okay, so here we got the Orange Classic. This is, again, the first drop that Firefly did in early 2020. I think it was January when these were available. The serial number still shows this was manufactured in 19, but they didn't become available until the January drop of 2020. Now on this guitar, again, you got a flamed maple top, mahogany body, rosewood neck. Again, those tone controls, like they were in the first batch, the volume and tone controls are kind of condensed together. This had a different set of pickups. This was the first classic version that they went with. Again, this is when they went to classic and elite versions. This had the slash style uncovered pickups. I will give you the weight, obviously, and the measurements on this. Again, this feels more like a 60s slim neck. I'm hearing that some of the newer ones have a sort of a more baseball bat type neck to them, and that they're flatter. This again is a 12 radius and a slimmer neck. These pickups are a little bit hotter than the ones in the first original. I'm in the bridge position. Middle. Neck. Now you can see what they did on this version here is they went with the new inlay on the headstock. The JSN logo went away, and they did go with the newer cut headstock. On this one, same kind of thing. I believe it has a maple cap on the back, or at least a veneer, because you see no pieces. It's almost like it's a single piece of mahogany. And again, these are all curved tops, every single one of them. Mahogany bodies, mahogany necks, all set necks, rosewood fretboards, with the exception of the IYV. Let us move on to the IYV ILS, Mr. Green Jeans. Now, as I'm moving down the aisle here for all 5 of these, again, you'll see this particular guitar, the spread on the volume and tone controls is very similar to what it is on the Monoprice and wider than what they are on the Firefly models. Again, this is a mahogany-based guitar. All of them have the binding around the bodies. All of them have binding up and down the neck. They're all trapezoid type of fret markers. With the exception of the IYVs, the headstocks are basically the same. Now this is a 60s slim neck as well. It feels very similar to the Monoprice, or to the Fireflies. It might be slightly thinner. And this is a 14 radius instead of the 12s that you find on the Firefly guitars. The humbuckers on this sound very, very good. They use El Nico humbuckers on these. I believe the Fireflies are ceramic. I'm not quite sure what is in the the Deluxe Plus with the humbuckers, I'm not sure. These obviously are the P90s. These sound very, very good, these humbuckers. This is also the lightest of the 5. Maybe because they're not using a maple cap or veneer on the back. You can see the individual pieces of wood. This is a 2-piece, it looks to me. Now these are not being sold by IYV on Amazon anymore. You'll have to pick one of these up from eBay or Reverb or another private seller. But there's still a ton of these, as far as I know, a lot of them anyway, still out there, new in box with some great pricing. As you all know, if you've watched my review of this one, you'll know that I picked this up for just over $100. I just looked today, there's 129 and 150 and all that kind of stuff. And that's, you know, those are great prices. These were up to at one point 204 on Amazon. Well worth it all. The Fireflies right now are around $199 plus $27 in shipping. The beauty of the Firefly brand is you can get all kinds of different finishes. They have them in just about any finish you can imagine. Right now they're kind of low in stock. I'm sure there's a new drop coming, but I just looked today and they actually had a pink one, yeah, on sale for I think $179, and a pink sparkle one again at $200. So you're looking around $225, $230 with shipping. These you can pick up for less than $150 with shipping. The Monoprice guitars, the Gold Top SB is not in stock, but they do have the black Deluxe Plus SB in stock, and that guitar is $254, I believe, with shipping. So let's, in fact, go over to the Black Beauty there, the Monoprice Deluxe Plus. That is not the SB model, that is the humbucker model. And They were blowing these out on sale when I was able to get mine. So let's take a look at that one. So here is the Deluxe Plus from Monoprice. This is in black. Again, right now they have this in the SB model with the P90s in it. This, I believe, they closed out. I got an unbelievable deal on this. These were $254, and I got this for $89. I mean, which was ridiculous. So this was the buy of the year for me last year, anyway. And you'll notice that the one thing I did do to this is I put the Duesenberg Trem 2 on here because you know everybody needs a Les Paul with a trem, right? So this makes this the heaviest of all of them, with the addition of the trem. The Duesenberg is very, very nice on here. Plays very, very nice. Very, very cool guitars. All of these are nice guitars. They're all worth your consideration, I think, if you're looking for a budget LP. Now, there's a lot more, obviously. I think, you know, there's numbers and numbers of brands, including Sawtooth and Grote and, you know, you name it. I think everybody makes a Les Paul clone or a Les Paul copy. These are the 3 different manufacturers and 5 different guitars of Les Paul budgets that I have, and they're all well worth the money that was asked for all of them. So again, not really doing a shootout. I'm just doing a comparison of how they feel. They all play very much the same, to be honest with you. The green IYV, the ILS, has probably the thinnest neck in far as thickness goes, although it feels very, very close to the Fireflies. The Monoprices are a little bit thicker and more round. They have 14 radiuses on them. It's a 14 on the IYV as well, and there's 12s on these, but be aware the newer Fireflies, I am being told, are even flatter. They're 16s and up. So be aware of that. Again, the Monoprices you can get in the humbuckers and you can get in the P90s. The same thing, I think, along with the Fireflies. They do make some P90 versions. Again, check with guitargardens.com if you're interested in one of those. The Monoprices come with a gig bag. None of the others do. And they're all on that $200 and above price range. You know, the $200 to $250 by the time you pay taxes, with the exception of that is being blown out right now with a bunch of different resellers on eBay. You should be able to find a $150 and under price for those. New inbox. Make sure you get from a reputable dealer, and that's well worth it. What a wonderful guitar that I paid just over 100 something bucks for. So back when I bought the first Fireflies, they were like $150, and that was shipped. This is the only one that I paid full retail price for because I bought it the day it was released on Monoprice. I've been waiting for the Monoprice version of this with the P90s, so I paid the $254 for that. This I got as a grand bargain for $89, and these running at $254 as well. So when you combine them both, then I got such a good deal on this. I got them both on sale, in my opinion. So there you go. The 5 different budget LPs that I have. The 2 different Monoprices, the IYV, and the 2 different Fireflies. If you're in the market for a Les Paul clone, again, take a look around. Do your due diligence and see what people are saying online. Again, I don't have any of the Glaries or the Grotes or the Samics or the Sawtooths or any of those types of brands, but you know, see what the reviews are, and if you're looking for a budget clone, these are very, very nice for the LP style. Okay, so folks, we're going to wrap it up for today. I really do appreciate you guys stopping into the channel. Thank you for all the subscribers. If you are still on the fence, however, about subscribing to the channel, that's right, come on over to the good side. We would love to have you folks on board. Until next time, folks, it's Jimmy Stewart saying so long. Take care. Please stay safe. Please stay healthy. Please be kind to each other. Okay? And we'll talk to y'all again very, very soon. Bye-bye for now. 1, 2, 3, 4.